Folks, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to Global Leadership Perspectives. And today I would want us to look at something concerning the High Commission representatives in Kenya. And I want to begin by asking this question. When you look at their conduct, especially before election, after election, and currently during the demonstrations, are their conduct above reproach? Or when we analyze their conduct and behavior, are there chances that we are able to spot some gaps, some misgivings, and some things that may clearly suggest to us that either they have taken sides or they have not taken sides? And so let us create and build a case here, and then we perhaps will decide where that is concerned. And let me be very clear, especially where this issue is concerned. After election and after a few months, then the opposition began demonstrations. And as I've always said, of course, the reasons that they are giving and say why they are on the street is because they would want to see the economic situation in Kenya getting better and easing the harsh economic times. And number two, they are looking at electoral reforms or electoral justice, and they are arguing that election was not fair as much as it went through all the process. But they are saying that they have sufficient information and evidence to indicate that all was not well with the 2022 general election. And number three, they are also demanding that indeed they would want to have to have in relation to election reforms the issue of the formation of the new body that manages election to be halted, to be put a stop, and to be done it in cooperation with all the players. And that they have been very persistent. And so with that, with many other, because they came up with 12 points, and by the way, they were also insisting, which they began by saying, that this is an illegitimate government, and they were not recognizing the government, and so they were saying that they want the president to step down. And I'm not quite sure. I think that is a tall order. And so let's see how it unfolds. Now, any other country, as we said, the world is a village. We are global and glocal at the same time. Meaning that there is no way Kenya can operate in isolation, and so it is to any other powerful country. They cannot operate in isolation. These nations need the cooperation of one another in order for them to succeed. And that's why we have representatives of these various countries in given countries. For example, in Kenya, we have high commissioners representing their countries, ambassadors representing their countries. And that's why we have embassies in Kenya, and we have quite a number of them. We're talking over 50 of them. But among that group, we have a section of them that have been very vocal, and they are always vocal in Kenya, and the always quick either to issue statements or to comment or to give advice on a few things, especially whenever they occur. And now, after the election, now the opposition is on the street, they're demonstrating. we have seen a number of them issue statements, and not, and as I've said, it's not all of them, but again, the one that are issuing, they are issuing statements concerning the current situations, and one of the things they are trying to push is that the demonstration to be stopped, and okay, yes, that could make sense, but I want us to look at it this way. Of course, first and foremost, of course, Kenya is a sovereign country, and Kenya need to be given the benefit of really coming up with their own mechanism to solve their own internal challenges. But again, because we are global and we are partners of other countries, whenever it appears like it is going out of hand, then it's not a bad idea others to come on board. And having said that, during the election, especially even to days leading and to the very day of declaration of the election, there are people who have discredited the conduct and behavior, especially of the High Commissioner representing America. And even from her statement, it appears that she, from the word go, she took sides, and she has not been handling this issue before even the declaration of election as a neutral person. So that has really painted her and America, especially, very negative, or in a negative perspective, especially with the people that are in the opposition. And so that is one of the things the representative of America in Kenya, they are really struggling to deal with that issue. So that is one. And subsequently, even currently during this demonstration, there are some of the things, some of the behavior that we are people are observing and people are concerned. One, America itself stands for democracy, and so we want to believe that. And if that is the case, and here we have people who are saying that they are serious issues concerning election, and because of that they are demonstrating, and their demonstration or their initiative is backed by the Constitution. Now, on the street, it appears, first of all, it appears that some of these missions, they are not keen to recognize that this kind of demonstrations are necessary, and they want to create a scenario, a picture that they are illegal, and this is happening because they are not coming out clearly, and they're not coming up emphatically, even to give it that kind of backing. And so that it's making people to have serious concerns, and especially as people who are looked at as if I use the term, as fathers of democracy. Are they really standing for democracy? Are they really advocating for the voice of people, or is it about their personal interests? And that's why during this demonstration, the police has been very brutal with the people demonstrating, and they have been unleashing serious terror on them. And this is seen and it is known by everybody in the world, because it is seen, because the international media are covering, rather they have covered the event, and because of that, we are wondering, or people are wondering, if I put it that way, why are these people silent about this? Why are they silent? I'm sorry, I'm recording from home, so that's why we have a bit of interruption from the young ones there. But back to our business. So there are serious issues on how the police is handling the demonstrators, and it is violating the constitution. It is violating the international law. It is not in the tenets and in the spirit of democracy and even human rights. But these people are silent. They are not talking about it. They are not condemning it. They are saying completely nothing. When you look at media want to be gagged. Serious issues. The media personnel have been threatened and mishandled, and none of these people are making any comment. Instead, they are busy trying to push for certain agenda and push for their interests, which is not a bad idea. They're there to push their interest, but then also they must be cognizant of the scenario, and it has to be done in a way that is above reproach, in a way that it indicates meritocracy. And of course, the other day I saw one of them came, the US Embassy came, and they talked about media, the police not harassing the media. But anybody who can analyze the situation would be suspicious to ask why only talk about the media and not talk about the demonstrators who are being mishandled and who are beaten left, center, right, and even the opposition leader who are being mistreated. That in itself, it is suggestive, and it shows the selective kind of approach to this issue. It doesn't need any logic. It only needs a basic observation to see that something is not right. Because what would have stopped them to condemn the police in terms of mishandling the people demonstrating, and the police using force on the people demonstrating, and talk about the media. All of it is in the same context. So pulling and extrapolating one of it and talking about one of it and leaving the rest, it just leaves them vulnerable in terms of people saying something serious is happening here, and this will be interpreted as hypocrisy and selective sort of way of defending and advocating for what is right. So I think really they need to do something. Otherwise, people are not taking it lightly, especially the opposition, from my observation. Of course, and looking at even their conduct and their behavior, of course, they would want to, they feel with this government they can make more business. And with this, remember I've talked about the issue of BRICS and the kind of the fever is causing. So they feel this government, it's easy for them to either manipulate them and do what they want to do as compared to others. And that's why I will be bold enough to suggest and to insist that most of the leadership and in Africa, it is usually installed. And this is usually directly or indirectly. It is usually installed. And especially the political leadership, this we are talking about the president, they are usually installed. It is a high profile game that concerns the big brothers in the globe. And Kenya is not exception where this is concerned. And that's why when we look at the conduct of some of these embassies and the representatives of the superpowers and the big brothers in the globe, it is suggestive. It is suggestive enough that all is not well. Now, let me mention something to finish with that is very serious, even where this conduct is concerned. Now there is a stalemate. People are talking about dialogue, and people are talking about the need for the two to meet and to discuss. The question is, who are going to be arbiters? People who are going to work as mediators. Of course, one of them we are looking at is the church. We've had a bit of challenges with the church, but you tend to think we are coming up strong, and we are trying to get back our position. And I still believe, because I'm one of them, the church really has a place and to play, regardless of the challenges that have happened before. We can still do it, and that's one of the serious arbiters, mediators. The other one, of course, is this diplomatic community. And recently we had an entourage sent from US, one of the senators, to come and just try to talk to especially to the Mr. Raila Odinga and his team concerning what is happening, to try and convince them to dialogue and find a way, a solution where this thing is concerned. And I saw, if going with some of the photos I saw that have been released on their social media, I saw like the US embassy ambassador, the lady in that photo. And for me, I tend to think, looking at how, for example, they are taking selective comments, and the way they are clearly indicating they are on the side of the government, then how will even the opposition give them the benefit of doubt that really we can use you as arbiters, we can use you as mediators where this issue is concerned? I feel that is a real serious challenge, and maybe that's why even the last meeting did not go well, and that is a very serious issue. And also, I think if I were to advise this team that came from US, who went to see the opposition, it would have been in order even for them not to include the current ambassador to that meeting. Of course, she's the ambassador. She would insist, because I'm the one going to introduce you and take you around. That's okay. But the situation at hand is unique. And because it's unique, it needs a proper strategy. And so her going there, I think people will look at it with a lot of suspicion. And already people have, from the opposition, negative feeling concerning her. So that will not have augured well. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say, the situation at hand, at the end of the day, calls or needs dialogue. But will this diplomatic, especially a section of them who are already, by the way of their conduct and comments, taken sides by the government, will they offer a solution on this issue? So with those few comments, I tend to think the conduct and the behavior of some of the mission, some of the diplomats community in the country is not up to the standard. Basic reason, they have taken sides with the government. I know it is in interest with their business, but at the end of the day, there is a unique problem in Kenya that needs solution, and that solution cannot be clearly and properly offered with the way some of them are conducting and approaching the whole issue. Those are my views, and you can challenge them, you can agree with them, and you can disagree with them. But I feel we need to see a good kind of leadership from the representatives of various countries in Kenya. We want to see them being neutral and not taking sides, and this will be helpful for Kenya and also for them as people that Kenya need to collaborate with, alliance with, and work together for the good of everybody. The King bless you.